The new world's tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster, Falcons Flight, has been pictured testing on multiple occasions now, with it actually having gone through that massive cliffside drop. The new Universal Studios Great Britain Park has had some of its plans officially made public, with thousands upon thousands of pages to read through. And amongst the usual new rides testing and such, there have also been markings spotted for potentially something huge where Kingda Ka used to be. It's been quite the week, because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, welcome back to the best and only series to have the acronym TPWITP this past week in theme parks, where we take a look at all the latest in the past 7 days in theme park news. And crikey, there is a lot of crazy stories to go through. So if you do want to skip to specific stories, be sure to use the video progress bar chapters below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. These videos do take quite a while to research and create each week, so any support towards the channel and this series would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, there is a lot to go through, as I have already said. And with only a few major stories that I'm going to talk more in depth about, I think you know what time it is. It's quick fire time. Let's do this. Starting in the US of A. Over at Universal Studios Orlando, not only have some new boards and sort of construction walls gone up for the replacement of Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, kind of glad it's going because that is such a mouthful to say each time, but over at Epic Universe, Project 915 has been developing slowly. The new first expansion to Epic Universe, and according to the permit notes, it is going to be some sort of event space or backstage structure, with a meeting room, banquet hall, seats, office space, and commercial kitchen area. No idea what that's going to be. I'll keep you updated. Universal are also busy building their Texas Kids Resort, with construction progressing very nicely, especially on their Camp Cretaceous Jurassic coaster. Too many tongue twisters today, I can't be bothered. At the rival company to Universal though, Disney have been very busy making some changes to Walt Disney World in Florida, because in Magic Kingdom, the Tom Sawyer Island, the Riverboat, and of course, the Rivers of America have controversially now closed to be renovated into that new Cars land. And some funny things to note are the fact that they instantly closed it and it was instantly off of the app, and some construction walls have been progressively going up, with this door seeming to have just appeared out of nowhere. I don't know where it leads to, probably an alternate dimension. And we're actually going to step through that door over to Six Flags over Georgia, because Georgia Gold Rusher has been finally spinning again. Six Flags try and build a ride without problems challenge, impossible edition. Cacau Park in Brazil again has been building their Vekoma Ghost Rider. We saw the insane looking stall last week, but this time pretty much the whole layout is almost complete, and it even has a double zero G roll in there. Vekoma are cooking. Back in America again, Cyclops at Mount Olympus, a wooden roller coaster, derailed, and Batwing, the Vekoma flying coaster at Six Flags America, also derailed its front car. But a front car that is supposed to be making its way somewhere else is Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure, because the teal train that was on it, the front car is being sent to a private museum, which is really cool to hear. But also the land that Kingda Ka was on now appears to have some markers in the ground around that area for the Project 2026 that will be opening. I wonder when that's going to open. In 2075, next year of course, and there's a few rumours as to what this could be. A lot of this speculation comes from permits, and especially the surveys they did a while back, people hoping for an Intamin Blitz style roller coaster, and others are expecting a max spinning coaster with a huge tower that goes around the top and drops back down. I genuinely don't know how that would feel, going down a 300-foot drop on a Mack Extreme spinner, but I feel like if it was so windy, you would literally just start going... I don't know, I'm just extremely intrigued to see what that is. Over in Vietnam now, we have slight confirmation, but also not really, that a brand new Vekoma Switchback coaster has opened in the past week or so. There's literally no photo or video proof of this happening, but RCDB listed it as opening on the 1st of July, which I now realise actually isn't in the past week. God, I'm good at this job, aren't I? Legoland Shanghai has also officially opened its doors in the past week as well, with the now tallest and fastest Lego minifigure statue. Tallest and fastest? Am I stupid? They have taken their record of tallest minifigure from themselves over in Legoland Windsor. An exact clone of Mahuka at Walibi Rhone-Alps has made its way over to Moscow. It has this very strange colour scheme to it, and obviously this is a single rail Intamin hot racer, and it looks really, really fun. I really want to go and try Mahuka. There's another one in the world if you want to try that. The new ride at Liseberg in Sweden has opened its doors in the past week as well. One day I hope to go and try that out. Disneyland Paris have been busy making their new Frozen land, as you can see here. Note, that's just the Tomorrowland main stage for this year. Phantasialand have made a trademark for the name Fenny's Shakes and Pancakes for a new restaurant in the fantasy area. You're glad you know that now, don't you? Parc in France are making a Naruto-themed roller coaster that now we know is called Kyubi Unchained. The new spinning coaster, Set Automatics, over at Parc Asterix, as much as it has been delayed, seems to be opening later this month and has had a video released of some footage of the ride running, and it looks really, really cool. And one of the best things ever has happened. Not in the past week, but I have seen this thing with my eyes for the first time. This roller coaster train exists somewhere in the world. God, that might be up there as most iconic with the Jesus coaster. 2,500 likes and I'll go and ride the Capybara coaster. And something very exciting has happened as we step through. Here in the UK, over at the field where Universal Studios Great Britain will be. But we're going to get back to that in just a second, because Legoland Windsor have been busy creating an F1 car, a McLaren F1 car, that is being showcased in the park from now till the 15th of July. And you may think, why is that so special? It's because they actually raced that Lego McLaren at the Miami Grand Prix. One of the best drivers parades of all time using that car. Yeah, that is now at Legoland for a limited amount of time. Chessington have moved Kobra over to the car parks. You imagine that's where it's going to be found now. But they've moved it there in pieces to work on it and retheme it, I would assume, to, I don't know, something to do with Minecraft, because that's what that land's becoming. I genuinely can't think what a Cobra ride would be rethemed into. Like a Ocelot ride, Ender Dragon, Iron Golem, Ender Pearl. No, those jokes are so over now. And also, Alton Towers have finally released the time-lapse footage for the whole process of building Toxicator. A really cool look at how that all came together, and I'm surprised you can't just see me every so often popping my hand and my phone above the fence to try and get a better look at it, because I was doing that so much during that time. That's great and all, but Universal Studios Great Britain is gumming, and the first step in that park becoming an actual thing here is for them to give the planning application for it over to the government and then have it released publicly for people to consult about. And of course, I would go into absolutely everything that's in there, but first of all, it's about 6,000 pages long. So sod that. And second of all, we've gone into a lot of what's on there in detail in the field. So go and check that out in the top right at the end of this video. But two things I did miss from it was the fact the timeline for the project, or like a brief summary of what it's going to be like, is right here. Q3 of 2025, we're going to see advanced works, which is actually already started. Following that, there's so many different things that will be happening. And again, we're going to talk about that and the fact that there is also a plan for the lake zone at the other end of the site that's not being used for the theme park right away. We will discuss all of that in depth in a future episode of The Field. So subscribe so you don't miss that. Because potentially one of the biggest projects ever created by anyone in the theme park industry over at Six Flags Quiddiya has moved one step further towards it actually opening. Falcons Flight is set to be the world's tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster, reaching a speed of 155.3 miles an hour, a height of 640 feet tall and a track length of almost 14,000 feet. This thing is going to be absurd. And obviously we've known for a few weeks now that it has been testing a little bit during that first section of the ride, but it stopped at the bottom of that cliff for a very long time. And as you can see from this photo here, it is now at the bottom of that entire cliffside drop. So some testing must have happened. They wouldn't have just craned it from before the lift climb and gone, oh no, we won't test that bit yet, and just moved it over there for no reason. From those photos alone, it does tell us that we have seen the train go up around the cliff section, drop down that huge cliff, and into the valley where the next launch is. Well, how do we know that's for certain? Well, some very lucky people at an event at Thorpe Park, an attraction source event to be precise. Shout out to you guys. Intamin were there giving a presentation and Q&A and talk all about what they do for their job and all about designing roller coasters. You can see loads of different slides here, but the one that was the most interesting was not only this one here where they showed Falcons Flight's train in all its glory sat on the brake run, I assume before the lift climb, with that huge, unrealistic looking airtime hill in the background. I still can't believe it's real. But also, people at the event, as much as they were told to not record it, so we have no sort of actual evidence physically, we're just taking a lot of trustworthy people's word for it, have seen a full speed POV of Falcons Flight dropping down that cliff edge, which, unless you don't count it because it is above a cliff and it's not actually above the ground, but it also is, I guess, means Falcons Flight is now officially the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world, because it has done that entire drop sequence that has that height record. Still not the longest yet because it hasn't gone full circuit, but I'm sure that'll happen soon. But that 525 foot drop off the cliff that I guess counts as the overall height of 640 feet above ground means it's done it. It has beaten not only Kingda Ka, that's obviously 0 feet now, but Top Thrill 2 and any other tall roller coasters around the globe that are operating. Six Flags have yet again taken their own record. Obviously, there are only a few photos to show you guys. They're obviously being very secretive about it all, but to hear an actual POV stabilized and actually mounted to the train by Intamin has actually been filmed of that drop going down the cliff. I don't think we're too far away from seeing that online somewhere and actually seeing full footage of it testing. But yeah, from those images, we now know it is testing, which is very, very exciting. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next few weeks, because I definitely think we're going to hear about this ride more and actually see that POV. So yes, subscribe so you don't miss that. And leave below in the comments what your favourite news piece of this week was. Thanks for watching.